Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss pre-market video for Monday, March 25th, 2019. I am Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss, back from spring break with the family and ready to rock and roll here, heading into the new week of trading. Looking at here the ES in the daily time frame, you'll see we have gotten another pullback here within the current uptrending price structure here. The last pullback led to a very solid continuation phase within the uptrending structure. Will this pullback do the same? Perhaps so, perhaps not. If it fails to hold the previous month's close here, there could be a little bit more downside before we see the bounce. So right now we are seeing signs that, again, we could begin to see some sort of bounce that leads back up a little bit here. One thing to watch is going to be the previous week's close, Friday's close, 28.07.5. That's the level right now where price at the moment is building a little box below that zone, or a little bit of price distribution below it. And so if this thing starts to break back above, say, 28.10, that could open up some upside potential down the way. Any failure to get back above 28.10's intraday could open up more weakness. So that's going to be kind of the pivot zone here to watch. Again, overall uptrending structure. So this pullback here, if it's not the day today to buy it, perhaps tomorrow might be the day. And that could lead to another round of strength to the upside of maybe 1 to 3 weeks again, something like that. So any failure again to hold 2800 in general may lead to more of a rotation lower, but again, we'll keep an eye on that here today. Looking at the NQ, you'll see here very similar price structure as well. Nice uptrending move here. We had a very bullish continuation, and then Friday failed new high, and then an outside day down. Very strong topping type of pattern there. But we are back into the PIMA trigger zone here, which is typically the zone that you buy every time you pull back within a very strong trending market. Even these here were all PIMA trigger zone zones where you could buy it. And we're right back in that zone again after a very strong move. So again, this is an opportunity for bulls to look to defend yet again. Now at some point we know that this may not continue higher forever, but above 7,400 opens up 7,700 in this case. Perhaps as high as 7,800. So this zone right here, 7,400, is very important. It thrust above it before. If there's a failure to hold below it, or if perhaps it basically bulls trap below the 7,400 level, that could lead to a stop run back toward 7,800 and the top of this new distribution here. So that would take us to new highs. So something to consider here as we head into the new week of trading. We'll see how that continues to develop. Now, taking a look at crude oil. Again, crude oil, very similar price structure. We have just completed a very bullish continuation from that low. Again, we had 54.55 to 55 as the buy zone before. That led to a major continuation to 60 bucks. We used our PivotBoss Advanced ADR indicator down here to tell us that perhaps expansion was coming. I put this on a 10 period range here, and you can see here very clear compression on a 10 period average. We knew that we would have somewhere between 6 and 8 handles of movement based off of its average volatility once it does see expansion, and that's exactly what we saw from the 54.50 low. We knew that we could get to about 60 to 61. We got there. Now we're pulling back into the PIMA trigger zone. And typically speaking, after you see a big breakout like this next pullback in the trigger zone here again offers another opportunity to buy this ahead of the next swing high as this thing works toward perhaps 61s. So again, we'll keep an eye on this here and see how it develops. 58 is going to be very important. That's the prior highs here. That's the breakout point. That's where support is currently developing, and we're just above that zone here. So we can come down here and test the 58s and still be bullish for a continuation. Failure to hold 58s would open up perhaps a rotation back toward those recent lows. So that's kind of the framework that we will use heading into the rest of the week for crude oil. And lastly, taking a look at gold futures. Gold has continued higher ever since we had our pivot low. It wasn't as strong as we would like, but we also knew that it was serviceable and it came on a fresh failed new low. That led to a continuation toward eventually our target of 13.15. It was really the 13.14.80 level that we put out there on this day. It nearly got there, and then it flushed back, held the 12.93s, and continued onward, now reaching and fulfilling that target. So we have our key range in play. We have higher highs, higher lows. This thing has been creeping higher here, but it really hasn't been able to really reestablish back above 13.20 just yet. So until that happens, we could continue to go quietly sideways to up. But above 13.20 would really open up some upside back toward 13.50 and perhaps complete that move into the 13.60. So again, keeping an eye on gold here as it continues to trade around 13.20. All right, that is it for now. We'll see how this plays out heading into the new week of trading and the last week of the quarter. Good luck, trade well, and I'll see you in the trading room.